Good evening, I'm Robert Giovanetti. Tonight, Inside Texas Tech with Chancellor Ken Hance goes inside the world of personal finance. That's next on Inside Texas Tech with Chancellor Ken Hance. Welcome to Inside Texas Tech, where we introduce you to the people that make this university system great. We address issues that face the system and go inside colleges and schools of the Texas Tech system. Tonight, we go inside how Tech is assisting students in their current and future financial goals here with Chancellor Ken Hansen. And Chancellor, how big is that? How important is it for students to leave one of our campuses without any debt?
Huge. We have, of all the schools in the nation, you're talking about 5,000 universities and colleges, we're number 7 on the least amount of debt. So our students, there's not many schools, there's only 6 above us where they have less debt. So we really watch it. We've got good financial aid people, and we'll be talking to Becky Wilson, who heads up our financial aid. But it's very important that they leave with the least amount of debt possible.
Think back on your college career, and you went to law school. Did you leave with much debt when you left?
When I left Tech, I did not have any debt. The tuition, though, was $50. Not an hour, but $50 total. And so, I could work in the summer and work during school and take care of everything. When I got out of law school, I owed $13,000 in 1968, and that's certainly more than $13,000 now. But I was lucky and worked hard and paid it off in a couple of years, and so that went well. But we're having more students, are going to have more debt, and I don't see that trend changing.
And you talk to students all the time about, hey, limiting your organizations, join organizations, but don't get too involved. But they have to learn to balance not only that but with jobs. And
we have a program for students called Red to Black, and we want students to know that bank statements come in black ink as well as red ink. Handle your money wisely. These college students, when they first go to college, they'll get 15, 20 applications for credit cards in their first year. And if they're not careful, they will destroy their credit rating before they get started. So our students, we care about our students. We want them to be well versed in their credit and handling money. And I always say, when a kid gets out of Texas Tech, I want them to be prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, health-wise, educationally to handle any problem that comes along.
And this isn't just at Texas Tech. Angelo State does a good job
Angelo
also.
State, they have a blue to gold program, and they do an excellent job on it also.
All right, thanks, Chancellor. We'll have to end that discussion. We'll have Becky Wilson, as you mentioned, in a little bit. From Red to Black, as you mentioned, is a program offered by the Personal Financial Planning Program at Texas Tech to help students, faculty, community leaders, and organizations make positive financial decisions. Inside Texas Tech's Keith Kohanek takes a closer look.
Thanks, Robert. Tech's Red to Black program offers financial counseling for students and community members. It gives them the opportunity to become more financially literate.
Well-being can be greatly affected by their financial situation. And if you're illiterate financially speaking, then that can cause so many problems. I would say budgeting and debt management would surely be some of the top 2.
Whatever your financial concerns may be, coaches for Red to Black are ready to answer your questions.
We do presentations and seminars to the community as well as students. So we do a lot of presentations about budgeting to freshmen. We do some presentations to graduating seniors about student loan debt. I recently did a budgeting one to Boys and Girls Club.
Along with presentations and seminars, students can schedule free financial planning sessions. These let you meet one-on-one with a Red to Black coach.
I have questions about how I can kind of get my finances organized.
Kristen Kolb coordinates appointments for Red to Black. She says she's seen firsthand the benefits of the services, especially for those not studying finance.
Finance is not their concentration or their major, and that's where we kind of step in, is we kind of provide that assistance to those who it's not their niche or it's not their focus.
A majority of the staff for Red to Black are studying financial planning. They can look at your financial scenario and guide you in the right direction.
Someone will come in because of one reason, but like in order for me to figure out where this person's going, I need to figure out, like what their goals are, like what they want to do, and how do we fix the problem that they have right now.
As you can see, the advice the Red to Black coaches offer will be different for everyone, depending on your situation. So if you have questions, get in touch with the staff at Red to Black. For Inside Texas Tech, I'm Keith Kohanek. Robert, back to you.
Thanks, Keith. With Chancellor Hance is Becky Wilson, Senior Managing Director of Texas Tech's Office of Student Financial Aid. She and the Chancellor will discuss how Tech helps students receive funding to continue their education.
We're especially pleased to have on our program Becky Wilson. And Becky is in charge of our financial aid, and she does a great job, and we're proud to have you here as a guest. What's your exact title, Becky?
I am Managing Director of Student Financial Aid and Scholarships.
Now, your husband has a similar position.
Yes, sir.
With the Health Science Center.
That's correct. He's Director of Financial Aid at the Health Sciences Center.
And one of your children.
Yes. My daughter is Vice President over Financial Aid at Lubbock Christian University.
So I guess during Christmas dinner, y'all sit around and talk about financial aid.
Right. We try not to do that. Correct.
Tell me a little about any student that if they're going to need financial aid, they fill out certain forms.
Yes.
Walk me through that part.
Absolutely. We encourage every student to apply for financial aid. We feel like that's the most important thing that they can do toward their college education. They may think they do not qualify for financial aid, but most normally every student will qualify for something. And so we encourage the scholarship application that is available early on for students to apply via the Texas Common application for admission, and we encourage them to complete the free application for federal student aid so that we can see every program that they may qualify for.
Okay, and then when your group looks at each application, they give that student suggestions on what they
Absolutely.
would qualify for.
We counsel with those students. We present them an award package that includes scholarship, grant eligibility, student loan eligibility, and work study, and then they can pick and choose on the loan portion and the work study, of course, whatever meets that family and students' needs.
Okay. One of the things we started back in the spring of 2007
Yes.
was a Red to Black program.
Yes.
And it was a program that was really for students that their parents had limited income.
Yes.
And it was $40,000 or less. If the parents' income is $40,000 or less,
Yes.
then they didn't have to pay any tuition or fees.
That's correct.
Talk about that.
That's our Red Raider Guarantee program, and it guarantees students up to 30 credit hours paid for them, tuition and fees, and if the family adjusted gross income is $40,000 or less. Right now we have over 900 students total that qualify for that program annually, and we have calculated that we expend over $9 million on the Red Raider Guarantee program.
And those are internal funds that we're out $9 million, plus the rest of the money you get from where?
Federal and state funds.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so you go through and try to get everything you can for those students, and then we make up the difference.
That's correct.
Now, one of the things that was surprising to me, and probably shouldn't be in this day and time, a lot of those kids were from homes where there's a single mom.
That's correct. That we have a lot of students that come from single parent households. And in that case, when they complete the FAFSA, most normally, not always, but most normally, they qualify for a full Pell Grant and perhaps a Texas grant because they've graduated high school with the Advanced or Recommended High School curriculum. And so in many cases, we are funding those students with gift aid over tuition and fees, which will also assist in their housing.
Okay. FAFSA. Explain to the audience what that is.
The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and so we encourage families not ever to pay money to apply for financial aid. It does not cost the family any money to apply if they complete the free application. Okay.
And that's very important, but
Yes.
because y'all give them, at that point in time, recommendations on what they can or cannot
Absolutely,
qualify for.
absolutely, we do.
Well, you know, looking at this, you've got Pell Grants, that's federal.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got state grants.
That's right.
You've got scholarships.
That's right.
One thing that concerned me about scholarship and fellowships, at Texas Tech we have about 72 million that we're eligible for. UT had about 250 something million, A&M had 160, North Texas had 105, and University of Houston had 112. We're behind those other schools, and we're trying to catch up and raise more money for scholarships. But how does that, you know, the scholarship, how does that help you?
Well, it's extremely important for us to provide scholarship funding for our students. We have a merit program, a current scholarship merit program for students who have a certain class ranking from 10 to 25% class ranking, and then a test score range, and we award merit scholarships. But moreover than not, our students are seeking out gift aid, some type of gift aid, because of the economic times and hardships that families are experiencing. They cannot always assist families in educating their students, and so that is our task, I believe, to provide gift aid for these students to make their dreams possible.
What do you have? Give me an example or two of someone that you've helped that really shines in your mind.
I have a young man that came into our office years ago, and he was from a single family income. His parent, his father was disabled and could not assist him in any way. And he came into the office as a freshman, and he said, "Miss Wilson, I must have help to be able to go to college." He said, "I cannot do it on my own, and my dad is unable to assist me." He was an architecture major, and you know, going to college, many times students don't realize when they come in as a freshman that transforms their life forever. Down the road, they will be glad that they got a college degree. And so he went through his major, and at the end, when he was ready to graduate, he came back in and he said, "I want to thank you for all of the assistance you've given me." Of course, it wasn't Becky Wilson giving him assistance. It was the funding that assisted him through college. But he brought in his architecture portfolio and showed it to me and was so very proud, and had already gotten a job. So that is what is rewarding about what we do. It's transforming lives.
It makes it worth it. And Becky, we're glad that you were here. This tells you a little about what we do financially. And let's go back to Robert.
Thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, Becky, for dropping by. If you'd like to see more of our conversation, go to the Channel 5 website, kttz.org. Stay where you are. When we come back inside Texas Tech, Sophia Hallbrook goes inside the origins of the Guns Up sign.
This summer, your journey begins here. Celebrate the 4th with a bang. On Mondays, the creators of Antiques Roadshow make you an offer you can't refuse.
We have a deal. 45 it is.
Gonna spend the money now. Here we go.
And the mob has Wallander on the run.
I would appreciate the truth. What is going on?
I like it.
It's all at the one place that can take you any place.
I'm Gwen Eiffel, host of Washington Week, the longest-running public affairs series on PBS. Washington's smartest journalists join me every week to discuss what happens here and how it can affect you there in Lubbock. During this election season, tune in for the news you need to make up your mind when it's time to vote. It's a great conversation every week on Washington Week, Fridays at 7 right here on Channel 5.
Didn't qualify for the London Olympics? Lost your invitation to the Queen's Diamond Jubilee?
Funny you should ask.
Well, keep a stiff upper lip. You can still experience the best of Britain this summer on PBS with a special lineup of shows.
Things could only get better.
From The Secret Life of Royals to an intriguing look at the story of England. This summer, share in the celebration.
The doc gonna be back soon. Just don't fancy bleeding to death, that's all.
New episodes of Doc Martin air Mondays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. and Sundays at 7.
Does that mean you're going to pitch in and help around here, Marty?
No. We've had a few complaints about your manner, the way you deal with patients. I don't want to go into specifics, just to say that certain people felt you're a little brusque.
Right.
Don't miss your appointment with the doc.
Welcome back to Inside Texas Tech with Chancellor Ken Hance. I'm your host, Robert Giovanetti. Tonight on Inside Traditions, our Sophia Holbrook goes inside the origins of one of the most recognizable traditions of Texas Tech, the Guns Up sign.
Thanks, Robert. Texas Tech has many unique traditions that unify students, alumni, and the surrounding area, but there's one that stands apart. There's something passionate Tech football fans have in common with students walking to class on any given day. There's a symbol that can be used as a friendly hello or a unifying gesture. A whole stadium of Red Raiders can be brought together for one reason: Texas Tech pride. And what better way to show it than by getting your guns up? A Texas Tech saddle tramp shared the history of the Guns Up sign with me.
The Guns Up idea came from a Tech alumni by the name of Glenn Dipple. He was living in the Austin area about 1971, and he kind of took notice of some of the other schools in the Southwest Conference at the time, how they had some hand symbols, and he kind of felt that Texas Tech needed one of their own. And so after throwing around a few ideas, he eventually looked to the newly created Raider Red mascot and how he put his prop guns in the air in celebration, and made that into a hand symbol. And he took that idea to the saddle tramps and the cheerleaders at the time, and the saddle tramps and the cheerleaders kind of adopted it as their own, and from there it just spread into what it is today.
Students tend to agree. Texas Tech spirit shines through no matter the circumstances.
I think that we have some of the best spirit here at Texas Tech. Even the football games, if we have, not the best season, our fans still act like we're #1 in the nation and giving the guns up and our little chants and whatnot.
Laura Cunningham is an online doctoral student who supports the Scarlet and the Black by using this handy gesture.
We have a lot of fun with it, and most of us are middle-aged parents, with kids that are in this program. So we're sort of, a different demographic than, your average 20-year-old student.
It's one simple hand gesture that can bring a family of Red Raiders together and create a sense of belonging and team. The 2-digit symbol can be quite a handful, but rest assured, the Guns Up tradition is fit for any Red Raider occasion. As you can see, the Texas Tech Guns Up sign is a force to be reckoned with. For Inside Traditions, I'm Sophia Holbrook. Wreck 'em Tech and get your guns up. Back to you, Robert.
Thanks, Sophia. As a recent Texas Tech grad, we know that you are proud to get your guns up. When we come back, we'll introduce you to a couple of highly competitive scholarship programs available at Texas Tech.
Tell him what's in your heart.
That's all ahead on tonight's News Hour.
Let's go!
Hi there!
Hang on!
Would have missed this for the world.
Hi, I'm Clint Barrick, Director of Programming at KTTZ-FM here in Lubbock. And although we have new call letters, the classical music and public radio programming remain the same. I invite you to tune in and enjoy 89.1 FM KTTZ Lubbock.
Meet the collector,
Hey, I'm in it to win.
the hunter,
I'm gonna find the Hope Diamond of costume jewelry right here.
The Negotiator.
I think I'd rather be down in the 300 range.
The Contender.
I think I'm gonna take them down today for sure.
They are Market Warriors. New from the producers of Antiques Roadshow. Will they cash out on trash or cash in on treasure?
In 2011, Texas Tech students were awarded $25 million in scholarships. Increasing scholarships remains a top priority for Texas Tech, and each year more and more students are receiving financial assistance. The Terry Foundation is the largest private scholarship fund in Texas, and for the first time since its inception, it is investing in Texas Tech students, 18 to be exact.
Terry Scholars are from Texas schools, and they exhibit scholarship, leadership, and financial need. They want someone who is going to make a difference. They want someone who the scholarship is going to change their life.
Howard and Nancy Terry founded the Terry Foundation in 1987. Howard went to college on an athletic scholarship, and after achieving success in his career, he turned his attention towards giving Texas students the same opportunity.
I'd probably have to wait a few years to try and come here because I'd have to get a full-time job and save some money up.
It's such an inspiration. He chose to invest in people instead of buildings, like a living investment. And I think it's a beautiful vision.
A vision that will continue. The Terry Foundation plans to invest in at least 16 new Texas Tech freshmen every year. But freshmen aren't the only Texas Tech students being awarded scholarships. Beverly Johnson has a bachelor's and 2 master's degrees, and she is currently working towards her doctorate in financial planning. She was awarded an AT&T scholarship to cover tuition.
I've been out in the world, I have a family, so to make a transition from a full-time career to come back and pursue its PhD was a significant financial sacrifice. So for me, getting a scholarship has been the perfect way to pursue this goal.
For all of the scholars, making the most of their opportunities is their passion.
So the biggest return that I can give to AT&T is to be a good student, to do a good job, to make a commitment to Texas Tech while I'm here, and to just really work hard to be the best that I can be, and of course, when I leave, to make sure that I get back.
Texas Tech held its graduation exercises last month. Chancellor, you like to talk about this. Texas Tech is a cross-section as you watch these kids cross the stage.
I teach a course in leadership, and one day in my class I had a kid come up and we'd talked about immigration. He said he thought his parents were the original illegal aliens. And I said, son, I don't know your parents, but they're not old enough. And his parents came here and they eventually got citizenship, and that the kid, it took him 6 years to get through Texas Tech. He now teaches American history. And that's a great story. But the next time the class met, I had a kid that was 2 down from him on the same row, came up and said, you're good friends with my granddad. And I said, who's your granddad? He said, James Baker. And I said, James Baker? And he said, James A. Baker. And I said, Secretary of Treasury under Reagan and Secretary of State under Bush 41. He said, yeah, that's Pawpaw. That's good. We'll get Pawpaw to come talk at graduation. And we did. But the reason I tell this story, and it's so important, this is a great university, because in that same class, you had 2 young students, one of them whose parents are washing dishes and flipping burgers, and the kid makes it through Texas Tech teaching American history. 2 down from him, you have a kid whose granddad knows every leader in the world on a first name basis. They're getting the same great education. This is a great university. In Texas Tech, we're a cross section of America. We've got people with all backgrounds, and that's what I love about Texas Tech. We appeal to everyone.
And letting them leave here with the least amount of debt also.
Yeah, that's so important. We want them to leave with the least amount of debt possible, and we're number 7 in the nation of being able to do that. And I think that speaks well.
All right, thank you, Chancellor, and thank you for joining us on Inside Texas Tech with Chancellor Ken Hance. Stay tuned for 24 Frame, Channel 5's new series that goes behind the scenes of filmmaking and brings you the stories in the arts and entertainment that you want to hear. For more information on the issues concerning the tech community, visit the Channel 5 website, kttz.org, and click on Inside Texas Tech. We'll see you next time on Inside Texas Tech with Chancellor Ken Hance.